Ooh, what's up YouTube, ODST General back again, and we've got another Operation Trebuchet news update, and we've got a ton of stuff to show you guys this week, so I'm just going to go ahead and hop into it because there's a lot to talk about. Starting us off from Freeman, we have the Spanker rocket launcher case. Now, this is pretty similar to the ammo pouches, not going to really change gameplay or anything, but it is a great piece for setting the tone that you're in the Halo universe, that this thing is a unique thing that you don't really see in real life. So I'm excited for it, but not much else to say about it, so let's go ahead, let's keep moving on. From Sanchez, we have the fire extinguisher from the one of the Halo animated shorts with Sergeant Baird. I can't remember the name of the short. It wasn't the Mona Lisa, I don't think, but Sergeant Baird basically got hopped up on all these stimulants and fought the Covenant like by himself. This fire extinguisher is probably just going to be a prop. It's kind of unique looking. I mean, it doesn't look like a conventional fire extinguisher. So, I mean, once again, it's great setting for saying that you're in the Halo universe. Now, he does have this inside his model of the carrier, it looks like, based off the background. So I don't know if this will be something he'll just release independently as a prop. I think he should. But this might only end up inside the carrier as a decorative piece. We'll have to wait and see on that one, unfortunately. Anyways, go ahead, keep moving. From Braz shared a update on the Spartan laser. So he shared a couple pictures. I've only got the one up though because they're both pretty much the same picture, which is that he's got the non-finalized textures on the Spartan laser here. This one obviously has a face, and he said he probably won't keep the face, but I told him he should. I think he should, because it's awesome looking. Who doesn't want a face on that? They put a face on the flamethrower and it was cooler, so why not on the Spartan laser, right? Beyond that, how this will work, I'm still not sure. I'm guessing probably fairly similar to the Sparrowhawk mounted one, but we'll have to wait and see for more information on that. Continuing on past that, we've got this new sniper rifle that I've talked about previously. Now this bad boy is being worked on by Frosty here. And I got mixed up with Forky apparently at one point, and I'll probably never live that down, but it's probably going to happen again too. I'm sorry, man. I'll be honest with you. You guys have very similar names, and it's easy to get you guys mixed up. Anyways, so pretty similar looking to the last time we saw it. It looks kind of like a mix between like the DMR and the sniper rifle, with maybe a little bit of shotgun mixed in or something. But pretty cool looking weapon. It looks like the barrel, from what he was saying, will be replaced by the silencer if you're choosing to put the silencer on. So it's kind of similar to the DMR where the barrel doesn't extend past the body of the weapon. So that's kind of a neat little feature to it. Looks pretty slick. I can't wait to see this thing with like a standard SRS scope on it and see what that looks like with that little combination there. Looks like it also comes in two colors, green and kind of a black or a gray color. And so neat stuff. But let's go ahead. Let's keep moving. So that brings us into armors, and we've got a ton of Spartan armors, both on the main development side and the community side. We'll, of course, get in the community side after we talk about main op tray and first contact stuff. On the main side of things, though, we've got some stuff being developed between Braz and Freeman, and I believe we had one more here, and of course I'm trying to remember everybody, and like I don't have these scripts because it's so busy. I've tried to record this several times, and Frosty was the other one, so Frosty had a helmet too, and that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure, so I had to double check. So anyways, starting off with Braz, we've got the Hayabusa armor, and I'm not exactly sure how he plans to implement this or which armor set this is supposed to go with. I'm assuming that this will go into first contact, and this will go and be designed around that first contact Spartan armor that's already in. So that comes with a helmet, and then he's also developing a base that looks like he'll maybe be for the under armor, which has the shoulder pads and the sword, and I don't know if he plans to include any other changes beyond that. I mean, that's pretty much all Hayabusa is the shoulder pads and the sword, so that might just go over the standard Spartan armor, I'm guessing. I'm just not sure if that'll be like an underclothing thing or how they're going to work that, or if it'll be its own separate armor piece that you can choose from. He is also working on the pilot helmet, which looks really cool. Now, this is actually available as a side mod, but once again, I'll get into that at the end. So yeah, the pilot helmet looks really slick, and you'll also notice that the armor piece he has is like the Mark 5B chest, it looks like. So that's not currently in either, so it looks like he'll be developing his own custom armor for that too, that we'll have access to. Once again, presumably going into First Contact when that comes out, but I'm not really sure, so I've included it earlier on in the video. Then we've got the Gungnir, or however it's pronounced. I've never learned how that's pronounced properly since like it first came out, but kind of an interesting helmet. And he's got like, I think the Halo 5 version or something, or 4 version or something. This is like a Forge World variant or some joke helmet that they released, but he's got this in. Regardless, the base helmet's pretty cool, especially if we ever get super lucky and we get that mech from Be Human animated version, the actual like armor where you sit in it and it's like a giant Spartan armor mech. That would be really cool to actually have the helmet, because presumably the helmet goes with that and it's like a pilot's helmet for controlling that thing. Shifting over, we do, like I said, have a helmet from Frosty, which is the commander helmet or whatever, Carter's helmet. I'm really bad at remembering names. There's so many different helmets in Halo now, guys, so you're going to have to forgive me. But yeah, this is Carter's helmet, which Freeman's working on. It looks pretty slick too. Probably not quite as far along, at least in these images, as what we had for Braz, but not a big deal. I mean, so once again, like I said, tons of armor, and then we've got something from Freeman too, which he's working on the sniper variant shoulder pads with the sniper rounds placed into little straps and stuff. It looks like he might have some other shoulder pads counter to that. I'm not exactly sure. This is the only one we can see, so I'm not sure if those are like pre-existing shoulder pads just placed on there, or what's going on with that exactly. Then we have what has been dubbed two different nicknames, the Abomination and Wally, which is going to be another static gun emplacement for the ODST. This is being developed by Hollywood. This piece here is like 4 Gatling guns placed onto what looks like a Scorpion turret almost, and that'll be placed onto the kind of canister for like the deployable turrets that you see in Reach that Bacon Shelf was working on. So these will be placed onto that like same base, and this thing looks insane. Probably not much else I have to say about it, though. I'm not exactly sure how this will stack up or function, but it'll probably be devastating no matter what. Then, moving on, we've got Vladimir working on another Scorpion tank. So the guy already did the Sun Devil variant, and he did the Halo Wars 2 variant, and so we've got another Halo Wars 2 variant, the Lockdown Scorpion. So if you guys haven't played Halo Wars 2, they have the Splits mode in which you get different variants of pre-existing vehicles. So you get like an up-armored Warthog with like doors and a bigger shield for the gunner turret and stuff. The Lockdown Scorpion is a physically larger Scorpion tank that comes with a different paint job that's like black and red, and it comes with this bulldozer plow thing on the front. So I'm not really sure if the plow is supposed to be like an anti-mine feature, where basically when the Scorpion's going, it's sweeping up mines and just destroying them, or if it's actually supposed to be like a bulldozer that's actually like plowing ground up when they need it, and it's just an attachment so that they don't have to have like tractors and stuff. Regardless, a very intimidating tank in the game, so it will be pretty awesome to see this thing realized in armor. Now, I'm not sure if this will be upscaled like the one in Halo Wars 2 is, but given that Vladimir's tried to keep the textures and stuff accurate to Halo Wars 2, I'm assuming this is going to be upscaled as well, so pretty scary tank. It might be a little bit limited in use, though, as far as that goes, then, with that being the case. Sticking with vehicles, we got a new project from Marstruck. His build's not quite finished yet, but while he's working on the boat to keep himself busy and occupied and interested in his projects, he started working on a box truck that's based off of some Halo concept art from Halo and Halo Wars. So this isn't actually any specific vehicle. It's kind of a combination of vehicles, an amalgam or an abomination itself, if you will. But no, this is actually really cool. This is definitely something we need, because this works great as a civilian vehicle while also working as like a transport. So this could do well for like smaller splinter insurrectionist groups, stuff like that. You know, these like ragtag militia guys that we have in. So pretty neat thing, but let's go ahead. Let's keep moving here. And that brings us still to Marstruck, but we're going to be talking about his boat. The boat actually got some really awesome stuff released here, and we've got a lot of pictures of it. We've got some video of it, so I'm very excited about this. We're still waiting on final textures, so these textures you guys are seeing aren't finalized beyond that, there is still also the need for the gun turrets, so those have yet to come. So it looks like the way he's configuring this, there's a version without the gun turret that will have a seat in the back for another firing position where you can use like a rocket launcher or something like that. But beyond that, then you'll also have gun turreted versions. At least I'm assuming that's what he's doing. I haven't specifically asked. I suppose there is room, even with that guy sitting in the back, to have a gun turret too. But I don't know if they'd want to do that for balancing reasons or not. So kind of interested to see where they go with it. I suppose with a boat like that, you don't need to worry too much about balance because they're not a huge part of a lot of missions, but definitely something that's the mod's been sorely lacking. And there is naval operations. There is land or sea, there's land operations, stuff like that. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what happens with this. I'm definitely looking forward to having this this boat added in and finalized. Sticking with the theme of boats, though, we have Sanchez's carrier, which has made a ton of progress. So we've got this carrier. It looks like it will have an interior setup. He's tried to get this as accurate as possible, but obviously this is just literally like a background set piece from Halo 3. So, I mean, you really can't see too much of it. I mean, some of the stuff is literally like 2D objects plastered on top of the 3D models. So he's done the best he can at like recreating this as accurately as possible while also making this a good, viable asset. It's still got a long ways to go, but he started modeling out the interiors, which obviously he's just doing based off of his own volition and basically what he feels should exist in this thing and what works in the superstructure and stuff as it's actually designed from the outside. So we've got, areas with a bunch of different screens and custom seats and, this big multi-level area with a big staircase and stuff going down. Looks pretty sweet. Definitely looking forward to this. I'm kind of hoping that it'll be big enough and he'll have some empty rooms or whatever in there that this can be viable in the same way that the Drake class is as a spawn point for units, and that way we can actually have units who are able to throw this down on a map like Altus or Madrigal or something out in the ocean and then operate from it for their campaigns, because that would be pretty cool. And it sounds like that's what will happen. That shifts us over to armors and stuff like that. So on the armor side, I guess I should have probably had this over with the Spartan armors because that's armor too, but whatever. We've got Burgess's CMA guys here. So like I said, I've talked about this before. These helmets are pretty similar to the CGA and the Opcan side mod, but these CMI guys do have a few differences as far as the way the helmet's designed. We get a closer look at the body armor and his first go at the texture of the uniform, it looks like. It's pretty cool stuff. I really like the camouflage texture and stuff, and with the way the body armor looks, this actually looks like a really cool combination of stuff here. Obviously not finished yet, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what he does with this, but really, right now I am digging this a lot. We do get a little bit of a closer look at it here in this other picture too. Other than that, not much else to say about it, so let's go ahead, let's keep moving on. Then we have some building stuff. So Kenny has been designing some of the buildings, or a building from, I believe this one's from Halo Reach? Yeah, this one's from Reach. And it's still very, very much work in progress, and exactly what he plans to do with it, I don't think he knows. I don't know, certainly. It sounds like he's considering strongly making at least some buildings, because it sounds like he plans to work on more modular, which would be super great as somebody who's a map maker and stuff, having that much more plug-and-play functionality as far as these buildings go, and getting these different set pieces to make them look unique and not have to, like, try and figure out like what crazy angles and stuff I can like put stuff at and merge it together where it doesn't look stupid, but it actually looks unique and different from all the other buildings and not like just stuff I've plopped down all over the map. If I can get modularity built in, I am all for that. I'm excited for that. So we'll have to wait and see though what happens with it. And then moving on, we've got a new Operation Trebuchet map being developed by the team. Now, I've got a bunch of pictures here. Some of these are from Halo 5. Some of these are from the mod, and honestly I'm having a hard time distinguishing these. This is being worked on by Nightovizard, and right now there isn't really much placed down. This is actually available on the Steam Workshop right now. I believe I've already gotten the link included in the mod list too. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and double check that after I record this and get the video edited, but it's on the workshop, pretty easy to find. It's just called Installation 04 after the Halo ring. Textures look super duper good on this thing, though. This is absolutely gorgeous. You know, and just from the screenshots he's been taking and stuff, it's hard to tell, like I said, not only is this Halo 5 or if it's Arma, which is impressive to say the least, but it just looks like a painting in these screenshots without actual like items and stuff placed down, without trees and things like this. This looks like this could be like a watercolor painting or something somebody made. And it's just absolutely gorgeous map. Now, he does have a small section of this map that's currently populated with trees and rocks and stuff like that, which we've got a picture of, and it looks like he's worked on some more that he hasn't been able to get updated publicly yet, but awesome looking stuff. I mean, it's just gorgeous in this picture. Even that, the grass goes really well. This feels like a Halo ring. Of course, too, it's also got the modified skybox, so you've actually got the Halo ring built up in the background, which we've seen as an independent release before, but this one's actually built right into the map, so good stuff. All for that. And I don't have too much else to say about that one right now. I mean, we've got the screenshots. I might go back and record a little bit of video here if I have a few minutes extra, but I need to try and get this out, so I probably won't do that. So yeah, that brings us into first contact stuff. And starting us off, we had a little teaser by Lux for some sort of thing. Now, I know Lux works pretty much exclusively on Covenant stuff, and so I'm not 100% positive what this thing is. It looks, based off the pictures and this video I took last night, like it's the fuel rod cannon, which I knew he was working on already, and that's why I kind of figured it was, but there's some differences between this and the actual fuel rod cannons that I was looking at. Of course, with all the different variants and stuff, I'm not intricately familiar with each and every model fuel rod. But it looks like, yeah, that's what this is going to be, is the fuel rod cannon, which I do have some video condensed down of him working on the model for that. So we've got the purple version, and we've got the, I guess, kind of golden version, or a little bit of a brownish, or whatever color you want to call it. Looks absolutely great in Substance Painter. Of course, it doesn't necessarily maybe it'll translate well to Arma, but in Substance Painter it looks gorgeous, so I'm excited for that. Then we've got Drake working on a new asset, and he's been blowing through this one too. I was actually really surprised because I actually recorded this. Is my third time recording this video, and more stuff keeps getting added, so every time I try to like edit this, if I don't finish it, then I have to add more stuff and re-record. Anyways, he's been working on the Type 38 Tyrant gun from Halo Reach. This is the massive gun from Tip of the Spear that you have to destroy several of these to clear the airways for your Falcons. So anyways, this massive gun will have a interior, but it will also function, it sounds like, as an actual weapon. So this will have anti-air and artillery capability. At least that's the plan currently. Looks really awesome. And I was saying that I don't think it'll be a while before we see textures and stuff for this, because he was still working on the model, I thought. But it looks like, yes, we've got textures already. So that means it's been UV wrapped and all that stuff. It'll still need to be configured, which will probably be a while, especially since with First Contact having just released, the focus is going to be shifting back towards the main Optray mod, getting the Corvette finished up if possible, getting all these other bugs and stuff fixed up, maybe getting the stanchion out and all that other stuff that didn't make the release fixed up and polished up for that. I'm not exactly sure what their plans are for that. Alright guys, that brings us to side content finally, and we've got, like I said, more Spartan armors, like I mentioned before. So we've got Azaman working on a Mark 6 helmet. I haven't seen any more of this from him, so I don't know exactly what he's got going on with it, but pretty cool piece. Very early work in progress. There was a few things that felt off with it, but he was getting feedback from the community and everything on that, so I'm assuming he's continued to work on this in the background, but like I said, I haven't seen anything for a little bit on this. He's not the only one working on one, though. We've also got a Spartan helmet from Oweeson. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I feel like I didn't, but whatever. Pretty cool stuff. This one's actually in game. This one looks obviously much different than the one Azaman was working on. This one looks a little bit closer to the like Halo 4, Halo 5 style helmet, where the way it's curved a little bit more, feels a little bit wider maybe. Which isn't a bad thing. It's not my personal favorite helmet, but having some variety on that, having those differences is great, because we've also got another Mark 6, which I'll talk about in just a little bit here. Then we've got a bit of a mystery project, I guess you could call it. We've got CQB and EOD armor being developed. Now, these screenshots have been shared like crazy on the Optrade Discord. I know who posted the original pictures, but it sounds like he didn't work on the project, so I'm not sure who's actually working on this. That wasn't made clear at the time, so I don't know if I missed a post where that's been clarified or anything, but looks gorgeous. Obviously goes really well with the ODST armor. It seems to have been based around that. So this will not work with, obviously, the Optrade Spartans, just like the other stuff won't. It's all developed on the standard Arma skeleton. Pretty cool stuff, though, nonetheless. It sounds like this will probably come out to the public in some way, shape, or form at some point here, but one of these helmets is like 2 years old and just got added in recently, I think. The other one's pretty recent, within the past couple weeks it was just made. But like I said, I don't know what's going on with it, so we'll have to wait and see, unfortunately. Then we've got Spec War 7 Armory, and it's got a ton of awesome stuff in it. So this is a unit-specific pack for Spec War Group 7, which I believe I've talked about some of their stuff on my channel before, but it's been a while since we've talked about it. They've got these custom armors, so they've got 2 pilot helmets, which are kind of a funky color. Now, that's the only thing I don't really like about these pilot helmets, is they don't really look like they match any of the armor that is either in this pack or in main Optray. They go kind of well with the Mark 6 Under Armour that you guys are seeing in here, but I don't know what else to say. I mean, so they make kind of a good, like, I guess, sneaky, like, Oni looking guy or something. I'm not quite sure, but kind of a neat piece. Definitely cool. Once again, not on the Spartan armor. It doesn't work with the Optray Spartans, unfortunately. Then they've got the Forcon helmet, which is the sniper helmet, the scout helmet from Reach, based off of June's helmet, and they've got that. Oh, pardon me, guys. Something in my throat. Anyways, we've got the Forcon helmet, which comes in a few different colors. A little bit different than the actual scout helmet that's based off of, with some camouflage and stuff. So not quite perfect, and once again, doesn't work with Spartans, but still a neat little piece if you're into that. But I think the one everybody's going to be most excited for is the Mark 6. Now, this is, of course, meaning that this Mark 6 works with the standard skeleton, which will be great for some people. Kind of stinks that we can't use it with the Spartan skeletons, but at the same time, that's kind of a good thing too, because obviously one of the big drawbacks to those larger Spartan skeletons and being on a different frame as the standard Arma person is that broke a ton of missions that were using the Spartans, because a lot of people don't realize that you have to have the bigger skeleton, or it's a pre-made mission that's not necessarily designed to work with Optray natively, like Dynamic Recon Ops, and it's kind of difficult because it requires a lot of editing to get those updated skeletons in to play as Spartans or Elites. So having a upgraded skeleton Spartan is kind of a nice little function, even if it would be nice to be able to have this Mark 6 like the same scale as the other Spartans. Nonetheless, though, pretty cool piece. And then that brings us to the accessories for these guys. Now, Milton has been working on accessories. We saw him working previously on the Space Life Vest thing that you saw from the Halo Infinite trailer on the pilot. Now he's working on the camouflage netting that you see on June, which is probably one of the most ultimately pointless pieces of accessory that exists. I don't know what he's covering up with this camo netting on his Spartan armor, but it's not covering much, and it's just seems like it get in the way more than anything. But whatever. It's a cool piece, and it's a nice little accessory, so I'm not gonna say don't do it, because it is lore, and I think he'll add Halo flavor to things. Like I said, that's always a good thing. The other accessories, obviously in lore, a little bit more functional, make a little bit more sense. I don't know if he plans to have these have any functionality or how this will work. I'm assuming that, like other stuff, these will either be like eyeglass accessories or night vision goggles. So we've got the sensor package or whatever that you see on one. I forget exactly what that thing is. Then we've got the rebreather that you see on like the ODST stuff and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Got some sort of beeping going on, I think outside or something, but whatever. So those are both pretty neat. And then we've got one last thing to show off to you guys, and that is 343 Guilty Spark. So yeah, this light bulb I believe is also being developed by Milton, and pretty cool. I don't know what he's planning to do with all this stuff because he's not an entry dev yet, but he's got a ton of stuff he's been working on. And Guilty Spark, you know, he had some help from the actual dev team. It's looking really awesome so far. Still needs some work, I think, around the edges and stuff, but pretty neat stuff. And guys, that is everything. That was a long video. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. As always, I want to know what you guys are most looking forward to from this video. What excited you guys the most? What do you guys want to see that hasn't been developed yet? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.